Quick, the rain is closing in. Where do you go? Make the wrong call and your run can be ruined, but choose the right location and you'll snowball into greater and greater strength until you're unstoppable. Map knowledge is this huge part of your skill expression in Nightreign, so let's go over some tips and some secrets. First, every Night Lord has a primary weakness shown at the start of your run. And see these affinity icons on the camps in the map? They don't just give a clue as to what sorts of enemies you can expect there, they hint at the affinity upon the rewards you'll find there as well. A fire marker means fire enemies and fire upgrades, and so on. So try to swing by the camp of whatever affinity you think you'll need. I'm going to attempt to rank locations from easiest to hardest. The churches and the rises pose no threat. The great churches and Castle Height are easy, and the mines, the forts, and the Everjails are a little bit more difficult. Everything I've just mentioned are all things that you can safely do on day 1, ideally with the easiest things being done first. On day 2 though, you should be attempting the difficult locations, such as the ruins, field bosses, and the difficult castle in the middle of the map, which always contains 3 or more major rewards. Don't get me wrong, you can do all of these things on day 1, but it's important for your team to snowball in Nightreign, so taking ages to kill a difficult boss and risking a setback from death often isn't worth it when you could just do it faster on day 2 instead. Now, while all of these places include some variance, some things never change. Sites of Grace, Everjails, Merchants, Spirit Trees, the castle in the middle, and even Talisman Scarabs. These are all things that you can always account for and start to learn the locations of. Height's Castle in particular is always a great place to visit at least once. There are often 2 on your map, and finding the map at the end will reveal talisman scarabs, buried treasure, nearby field bosses, merchants, and more. The mines are also now extremely lucrative. Not only do they almost always contain a couple of blue smithing stones somewhere within, but defeating the major boss within each cave also gives each player a choice of picking up a purple rarity smithing stone. Take your stones to a merchant and you're guaranteed an upgrade to a purple rarity weapon, which can bring your whole team online very early and help you all snowball. So use the mines, especially if they lead where you need to go. To see the map layout of the mine, press down on your D-pad to reveal the underground, and up to bring you back to the overworld. Another thing you'll notice is that certain locations, even unmapped ones, always contain a rack of a certain armament. This shack, for example, always has seals. Castle Height always has a staff rack, and the camps always give you bows. Sorcerer Rises mostly give great upgrades for your magically inclined characters in particular. To unlock them, you'll need to find a seal nearby, and that's easier said than done. I won't spoil all of these, but I found one that required me to chase a piece of scenery around the area, prop hunt style. I found one that I had to get up on top of with a spirit spring. I found a few that just rely on you noticing something about the tower that's different and hitting it, and sometimes the seal is right in front of you, just a little bit higher up. While the terrain of Nightreign largely stays the same, there are 4 shifting earth events that replace a large section of the map. Due to their size and difficulty, these are typically best done on day 2, and they confer special rewards if you manage to clear them in time. I'll get to that in a moment, but first, if you want to get rid of the current Shifting Earth modifier, you can rest at the bed in the Roundtable hold and it will disappear. I don't know why you would do this though. Shifting Earth is kind of the best part of Nightreign, and you can't sleep in the bed to bring back Shifting Earth. To do that, you'll just need to keep playing, so savor it while it lasts. Don't sleep. Let's begin with the crater. It doesn't get much more vertical than this. If you're ever confused as to where to go, down is the answer. On the way, you'll find a couple of field bosses, but in our experience, these are better ignored in the interest of time. A forge is at the end of your descent, where you'll first find a fog gate protected by fire monks, followed by flame chariots, and finally, a magma worm. Defeat the worm and each player can use the forge to upgrade any weapon instantly to legendary status. The level requirement of the weapon is also removed, so if you somehow manage to make it here early, you can start using a legendary weapon at low level. One area where climbing is a little bit harder is the Mountaintops. You're familiar with the Mountaintops of the Giants? Well, this is the mountaintop of the Ice Dragons, and they're not messing about. The goal here is to get to the very top, where you can claim the power of the mountain, which halves frost buildup and boosts your attack power when frost procs nearby. All of this is very good against a certain Night Lord. The path to this is possible to speedrun if you know it. The two giant chain bridges at the top of the map both look like they lead the right way, but you need to take the top one and loop it around to the peak. On the way, there will be a lack of spirit springs, and the wildlife will absolutely troll you while you climb. And as for the dragon, it seems like it's best to just accept the frost will happen and try to kill the dragon before the cold kills you. Do so and you may be rewarded with a wending grace, or perhaps a buff against dragonkin. I would only really attempt the mountain if I knew that the Night Lord was weak to the benefits that it gives. Next, there's only one thing that's more pervasive than the Mountaintop's frost, and that is the rot of the woods. Almost the entire woods here will build up scarlet rot, though notably, flowers in the area can help you to alleviate the buildup as well. There are two main things that we're aiming for here though. First, there's a fort on the hill that's clear of scarlet rot, which you can clear for some rewards, plus a treasure map. That treasure map you looted leads to your main objective, the power of the forest. You'll find this elevated in a particular tree, and when you touch it, you'll not only become immune to rot, but you'll gain a Bloodborne-like buff where you can heal damage that's been done to you by attacking. Even though no boss seems to have rot as its main element, this buff still comes in handy because this area is jam-packed with field bosses, and as long as you've read the map and as long as you're immune to rot, you might just be able to clear the whole lot of them out, and when we did this, we accrued an absurd amount of runes. So many that we all hit level 15 and cleared the final merchant's inventory with runes to spare. Finally, there's Noklateo, the Shrouded City. This city takes up like a whole quarter of the map, and its main objective is very tucked away at the back of the city. That means you not only have to find a single entrance, you not only have to fight your way in past a series of mini-bosses, but you have to get out in time as well. Not an easy task, but it helps if the final circle rests near the city's entrance. True to form, the enemies you'll find here are a giant dragonkin, and then Astel-like bosses that bombard you with boulders. Black Knife assassins stalk the alleys, and the sewers and the rooftops are waiting to be explored via the spirit springs hidden throughout. But if you can make it all the way to Nokleteo's big boss and win, you gain the ability to rise unaided after death a single time, and after that you appear to get a sort of damage buff for a limited time. Speaking of this eternal city, check out our new displate, the City of Dawn and Dusk. This wasn't intentional, but this new design by Zinnuo actually has a lot of thematic overlap with the Shrouded City. It's a doomed city of night that reflects the City of Gold above, or below, depending on your perspective. Because of Displate's unique magnet mounting system, you can easily hang this anywhere you want on your walls. For the next 24 hours, Displate are offering a staggering 40% off this print, as well as all prints site-wide. so click the link in the description if this appeals to you, and also, after 24 hours have passed, I'll be donating 100% of my profit from purchases of this print to the Doctors Without Borders charity. So, for you guys, buying this print supports an organization that delivers emergency medical aid to those in crisis all across the globe, and you get a cool design for your wall in return as well, so it's a win-win. But thanks for listening to that. Now, back to the video. So that's it for Shifting Earth, but the map can still change in other, albeit smaller, ways. These are called world events. For example, you might find a cyclone that spawns enemy Nightfarers to fight, powering up enemies in the area. Or you might be assailed by a Night Lord of the Day, who attacks with a limited moveset. Beasts fall from the stars, there are swarms of ants, Margit the Fell can arrive, Libra can offer you things. There's a lot that can change your run in unexpected ways. To close out this video, here are a few quality of life map tips. Yes, these map tips are all on screen if you read them, but who has time to do that when they're outrunning the night? First, use triangle to open a detailed view of the game map. This is a great way to locate certain merchants, but also bows, staves, seals, maps, and flasks. Next, remember that you can use your triggers to zoom in or out, which is useful when you need to look closely at the topography of the map or where a treasure chest is buried. Finally, triangle plus L3 is a great way to easily mark where you're standing right now. And if you're standing on an item, you'll mark the item instead for your teammates. Things are calmer at the Roundtable hold, but why slow down? Use the touchpad to bring up a menu for teleporting around the hold, which, if you're a new player, is great for highlighting all of the places that you absolutely should visit. And if you're in a remembrance, bring up the menu and look for an exclamation point to better understand where you should go next. Check the channel for a video on the Nightfarers, which I guarantee has information that you don't know about. We found some really cool tech with all of them, and I think they're the best part of Nightreign. So check that out, and thank you for watching.